Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. I am excited today. I will have a surprise on here for you guys. I think I'll have it up Thursday this week. It'll look a lot better. And praise Yahuwah and thank you, sister. I really appreciate this. Spiritual Captivity: How to Tell Your Family. I'm going to be continuing on with lessons from this book. Let's see. We were on World History Encyclopedia, the word BYBLOS. And I believe the map that I showed you in the last video goes with this portion. BYBLOS was the ancient port city of Gebal, called Byblos by the Greeks, on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, in what is today Lebanon. Pagan temples were located in coastal ports to exploit sexual tourism, worship of the zodiac, host of heaven. In their services was sexual, and this produced an overflow of unwanted children, sadly. Infanticide was the sacrificing of the children we read about at Leviticus 18. Today we hear teachers refer to the Bible, a word originating from one of these fertility deities. BYBLOS is the name for one coastal city. Something I forgot that I was going to be talking about for a minute today. Has anyone else heard, like, if you live in a town that you don't really hear trains very often, has anyone heard trains more often than you usually expect to hear? I don't know. I live in a very small town in New York, and the at night, in the middle of the night, when we're waking up, we hear the trains going, and we never would hear that ever. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I was watching Cinema Shogun's channel earlier about the Ohio train derailment, and how they were trying to ship some of the hazardous chemicals that they were pulling out of Ohio to Oklahoma. They tried to ship it to Indiana. They tried to ship it to Detroit, Michigan, and like everybody's turning it down. All the governments of these states are turning down getting these toxic chemicals left in their states. Like, the problem happened in one state. They shouldn't be bringing it all over the United States. It's ridiculous. I believe they also tried to bring it to Texas. But I just find it weird because we live in a very small town. And normally, the train runs maybe once a week. And lately, we've been hearing it every night. And this morning we heard it, which was very strange because we hardly ever have trains come through here, and now it's like every day. I just wanted to ask if anyone else has been experiencing anything weird in their towns, because I just don't understand it.
Just right up there. Whoa, Russell, come here. Treat. Look at treat. Come on. Okay, sit down.
So I just was wondering if anyone else has experienced anything weird going on in their towns recently.
I don't know. There's like a lot of trains running out the back, and I hear like big old dump truck or hay loaders. But you can't see them. You just hear them.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what they're doing here.
No, we don't.
We have an old Alcoa plant, though.
Yes, it's an old aluminum manufacturer.
It used to be General Motors, and it became Alcoa.
And every wing is closed except for one, the east wing.
So this way.
We feel like that maybe they're thinking, oh well, this is a small town, and we could dispose of it here. So just try to listen to what's going on in your area, because
Sit, good boy.
You don't want toxic chemicals going to your town.
You got one, Bella. Yes, you got
one. I gave you one, Bella. Don't do this.
Okay.
It's vitamins. You can only have one.
It's one of these days. Yeah, you're a little puppy. You get one. You don't want two.
Okay, so...
Good job, guys. Good job. Good night.
I'll continue on with the lesson. Okay. I'm sorry. Infanticide was the sacrificing of the children we read about at Leviticus 18.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Today we hear teachers refer to the Bible, a word originating from one of these fertility deities.
Let me do this.
BYBLOS is the name for one coastal city. because papyrus was one of the principal articles in its trade. The Greeks took the name of the city as their word for the book Byblos, and from their word for books named our Bible, ta Biblia, which means the books.
This isn't snow. What is it? It's like, I know it's snow. It's rainy snow.
But it's
my boots soaked. like it's like there's a friggin' flood. It's a snow. It's coming down snow, but hitting the ground all
weird.
Yeah.
The Temple of Byblia gave the city its name, and also the book now referred to as the Bible. It is uninspired. Another source says both the city of Byblos in Phoenicia and the city Byblus in Egypt were named after the female deity Byblus, also called Bible or Byblus. Byblus? I'm not sure. This idol was the granddaughter of Apollo, the Greek pagan sun idol. Byblia was also a name for Venus, an astral goddess, and a goddess of sensuality among the ancient Greeks. When asked if the word Bible is a pagan word, organizations that use the word Bible in their name claim it is not a problem, but comes to us from the word for paper or parchment in the Greek language. In other words, nothing to see here. Move along. Bible is not a word used in the inspired text. The inspired text calls itself Kitab Amat at Daniel 10:21. You're gonna have to be jumping and rolling. Yes, you. Yes.
What do you mean?
On a roll.
Oh, you got that, Russell. You can't do that.
See an interlinear to fact check the meaning of these words. Writing of truth.
No.
In Hebrew.
No. See? Why did you say something? That's why you want to put boots on. Roscoe.
Okay, sorry guys. I think this is where I left off. Roscoe was barking really bad. The Greek pagan sun idol.
Yeah,
which
sorry.
was
Won't stop.
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
The granddaughter of Apollo. Yeah, something's really wrong with our dog. We don't know if the vet gave him too many shots, because they weren't. I don't think they were supposed to give him 2 Lyme shots and 2.
In 1 year. It was a tick and Lyme shot.
The tick and Lyme shot and the
once a year. It's supposed to be annual.
But they did it twice.
Yeah.
Within 2 months.
Because he had to get the 3 parvo shot series, and I think they screwed up.
Yeah.
So
we think that they really messed up on it, and he's acting out because of it.
He's not a cheap dog, and the vet's not cheap. Like, it's crazy. It just is not. I don't see what people think they can do. This is just sad. Because he's barking.
He barks at us for no reason.
And he's getting himself anxious, and I run him, I play with him, I get him new toys. They both are loved equally, and he's still I can't even put my boots on.
He's getting her to bark, and she's a female, and he's getting her to hump. Like, it's ridiculous.
I can't put my boots on anymore.
He gets mad and barks at him when he puts his boots on. It's ridiculous. If anyone has a Rottweiler and has any tips, please let me know in the comments.
He's not a year old yet.
Yeah, he's about 11 months old, and he's not fixed. We don't want to ruin him. He's a purebred.
He is a smart dog. He does listen. He can actually understand you. You tell him, go get your ball, he'll go.
Yeah.
He'll go get the ball. You tell him to go get it. It's just he's acting funny because I had to go run outside.
Yeah.
You said I had to get rolling. What the?
I'm sorry.
I already took my boots off.
I didn't mean it. Wasn't my fault.
I know. It's nobody's fault. It's just this weather is insane.
I know. Okay, so Byblia was also a name for Venus, an astral goddess and a goddess of sensuality among the ancient Greeks. When asked if the word Bible is a pagan word, organizations that use the word Bible in their name claim it is not a problem, but comes to us from the word for paper or parchment in the Greek language. In other words, nothing here, move along.
You need Daddy clean your eyes.
Bible is not a word used in the inspired text. The inspired text calls itself Kitab Amat at Daniel 10:21. See an interlinear to fact check. These words mean writing of truth in Hebrew. We have grown far too trusting. Eusebius began translating the Greek into Latin 391 CE. Sorry, I did read some of that before. For the next 1200 years, his Latin vulgaris, or common, was believed to be inspired. It was used by the Anglican Catholics to produce the King James Version, or the KJV. Hathor, Byblos, Buto, Memphis, Heliopolis, Sinai, Mines, Makkah, sexual tourism. Seaport cities offered easy access for wealthy traders to sell and buy all kinds of goods. The pagan temples located in these ports exploited the rich travelers' tourism with brothels. The fertility temples reference worship services is still used commonly by Gentile cultures. Shrine prostitutes brought great wealth to the cities through their shameful deeds. Paul warned his converts who had once been in these worship services, and have no fellowship with the fruitless works of darkness, but rather expose them. Get out of there, for it is a shame even to speak of what is done by them in secret. But all things being exposed are manifested by the light. For whatever is manifested is light. I fixed it yesterday. Ephesians 5:11-13. He won't stop with the squeaking. We must not learn the way of the heathen. Deuteronomy 18. And the picture, the illustration shows, see Deuteronomy 18, 2 Kings 16, 17 and 21, and Yirmiyahu 32.
It's like a day room, like down the road, they have a sunroom or whatever. I tried renting it, but it was furnished, and they wouldn't let me rent it without they put a credit card on it. What's that security card?
Get out!
Come on, Ross.
Infanticide was institutionalized.
If you had a sunroom, you guys would have your own. You have your own
to
room.
Eradicate surplus babies. The fertility rights produced.
This is the living room.
So, like the modern day abortion. But this was how they did it back then. Unwanted children were burned in the belly of Moloch, a metal furnace in the form of an idol. Drums, trumpets, bells, shakers, and rattles were used to create a great din to cover the dying screams of the infants being burned alive. Abortion is today's Moloch worship. Celestial alignment at Stonehenge. Human sacrifice to the Maseroth. Oracle of Apollo at Delphi. And its pictures left to right. I read Stonehenge first. And then this is the other one. The Oracle of Apollo. Yes, today's Tuesday. Yahuwah is going to burn the inhabitants of the earth. Yashayahu 24. JESUS, uninspired word. A word of recent origin. Jesus is less than 500 years old. The letter J was invented from the Greek letter iota. It grew a curly tail in the 17th century when used as the first letter in a sentence, or the first letter of a proper noun. The Latin Vulgate in the first edition of the KJV used IESV to represent the name, and had never known the true name Yahusha. 1 Corinthians 12:2 reminds us, "You know that you were Gaiam, led away to the dumb idols, even as you might be led." In this case, Gaiam is a reference to the nations, idolaters, and all foreigners living outside the covenant. By using the word Bible, the word of Yahuwah is being referred to by the actual name originating from a female idol of pleasure, worshipped in Canaan and Egypt. Who is the Lord God? Read your translation's preface or prefix. It admits removing the name of Yahuwah and replacing it with a device, the English word Lord. Confute the uninspired words. The name God was adopted by Christianity, as was Bible. God, common Teutonic word for personal object of religious worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathen myth. On conversion of Teutonic races to Christianity, term was applied to supreme being. This was in the 1945 Encyclopedia Americana. Exodus 23:13. And in all that I have said to you, take heed, and make no mention of the names of other mighty ones. Let it not be heard from your mouth.
You're making this hard.
Let's prove what we claim to believe, and live by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Yahuwah. And this picture shows where it shows you in the scripture, they use IESV in one of the older scriptures. You can kind of tell with the ancient writing, or how they wrote their script back then, their type script. What was the first use of the word JESUS? This word is well known around the world, yet it has no meaning in any language. The letter J is less than 500 years old.
Oh, I remember some of our root comment about that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Sorry.
I just said I would pray for them, but I had a long debate with them. Yeah.
I don't like when people do that.
Well, I commented on someone else's video about the letter J.
People, everyone has their own kind of,
Yeah.
same things like that.
Well, they wouldn't even look into it, but they were telling me, give me links to this information so I can look at it. Well, I said Google this, and Google that. But yeah, sometimes I have a few trolls or people that I'm trying to get through to.
When someone makes a comment, there's no I just try to protect you.
I know.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Everyone have a good day. Hopefully it's better in your area than here.
Yeah. It's been warm out, and then it started snowing today. Again. And it's not even like real snow.
Wet and muddy. I'm sick
Wet and muddy.
I hate mud. I have OCD, so I hate mud. And I hate when it gets wet out, because everything gets all cold.
I know.
OCD is not the way to be.
No. The SUS or sus component sound like the Hebrew word for horse and the Greek version of Nimrod, Zeus. In Latin, it means earth pig, the J name.
Did you read this yesterday?
No.
We did. Yes, we did.
No. I had it bookmarked.
No, I remember reading about the earth pig.
Oh, no, it wasn't about, it doesn't say that. I added that in. Because that's what I learned as soon as, like, when I was first studying where the J name came from or what it meant. Yeah. The KJV used IESV in its first edition based on the Latin Vulgate it is translated from, but later began to use JESUS in later revisions. Probably.
We talked about this yesterday.
I know. Probably the first to use JESUS lived during the 16th century. It developed from the form IESV, used since the 4th century. The greatest secret held by the secret societies started with the Whisperers, and Indigo Loyola is a good candidate for being a promoter of the word Jesus. In 1541, he founded a militant order called Societas IESV, aka Society of JESUS. And this is Inigo Loyola in the illustration. Excerpt from Wikipedia. Quote, Ignatius of Loyola, S.J. Venerated as Saint Ignatius of Loyola, was a Spanish Catholic priest and theologian who, with Peter Faber and Francis Xavier, founded the religious order of the Society of JESUS, the Jesuits, and became its first superior general in Paris in 1541. He envisioned the purpose of the Society of JESUS to be missionary work and teaching. In addition to the vows of chastity, obedience, and poverty of other religious orders in the church, Loyola instituted a fourth vow for Jesuits of obedience to the Pope. To engage in projects ordained by the pontiff, Jesuits were instrumental in leading to the Counter-Reformation. As a former soldier, Ignatius paid particular attention to the spiritual formation of his recruits and recorded his method in the Spiritual Exercises, 1548. In time, the method has become known as Ignatian spirituality, unquote. It's another form of spiritual captivity. Societas IESU, or Society of JESUS, was created to be a counter-reformation or militant order of the Roman circus. Regimini Milantis ECCLESIAE, Latin for "to the government of the church militant," was the title of the papal bull promulgated by Pope Paul III on September 27, 1540. This bull gave the first approval to the Society of JESUS, also known as the Jesuits, but at that time limited the number of its members to 60. The Jesuit order's prime directive is to restore all worldly power to the papacy. The head was wounded when the nobility turned away from accepting the Pope as the head of the Roman Catholic magisterium. Magisterium means teaching authority. Kings and nobles considered themselves to be Catholics. As the Anglican Catholic Circus of England remained steadfast to the traditions, the Jesuits plotted to use many barrels of gunpowder to blow up King James and all of Parliament in 1605. But the plot was discovered at the last minute. Research Gunpowder Plot 1605. Adam Weishaupt, S.J., was a Jesuit priest teaching theology in Bavaria until the Jesuit order was suppressed by the Pope in 1773. The Pope was poisoned, yet the suppression of the order remained for many years. The Bavarian government also banned the order's activities. In 1776, Adam Weishaupt gave a new name to the society, IESV. He called it the Illuminati. The nobility joined this elitist organization in large numbers, not knowing it was the renamed Jesuit order, to continue its nefarious activities under a new disguise. Adam Weishaupt once declared, "O mortal man, is there nothing you cannot be made to believe?" And here is their symbol that's on our dollar bill, the back of our dollar bill. Adam Weishaupt designed the Great Seal in Latin. The words declare an ominous message, announcing the birth of a new world order. 1776 is shown at the base of the pyramid in Roman numerals. This is the year the Illuminati was formed. The Hebrew script, Shemoth 28:36 through 37. The Hebrew script as it may have appeared on the high priest's golden headpiece. I'll show you guys the picture and then I'll read the rest of it underneath. And you can clearly see Yahuwah in the beginning, or that almost looks like Yahuwah right there. Yeah, it is. Yep, that's Yahuwah in the beginning of it. Well, it would be the end because you read this way with Hebrew. Okay. Read from right to left. It reads, set apart to Yahuwah. Kodesh la Yahuwah. Yahuwah's name. Mishal or Proverbs 30:4. And I do that because I don't want to confuse you guys and make you think it's verse 34, but it's 30:4. Okay. Who has gone up to the Shamayim, or the heavens, and come down? Who has gathered wind in his fist? Who has bound the Mayim, or the waters, in a robe? Who established all the ends of the EBERITH, the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if you know it? The answer is Yahuwah and Yahusha, and he is one. Psalm 138:2. I bow myself toward your Kodesh Hekal, and give thanks to your name for your kindness and for your truth, for you have made great your word, your name above all. Is the name of Yahuwah important? With that question in mind, consider Psalm 79, 6-7. Pour out your wrath on the nations that have not known you, and on reigns that have not called on your name. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his pasture. How will they hear it unless someone is sent to speak it? In 2008, the Pope issued a bull that the name based on the Tetragrammaton, the 4 vowels in Hebrew, is forbidden to use in prayer, song, or worship. There is only one name, and it's Hebrew, the language of Eber or EBERITH. Bull means a letter containing a direct order from the Pope. Yahusha spoke. It's a bull.
Bull means direct order.
Order from the Pope. Yeah, a bill's from the government, a bull's from the Pope. Yeah.
Roscoe, you don't do that.
So Yahusha spoke EBERITH or Hebrew. Acts 22:2 and 26:14 say that Shaul, later known as Paul, heard Yahusha speaking to him in EBERITH, the language some translations have tried to alter by changing the word to Aramaic. The word Aramaic is not found in any of the writings of the first Nazarene. The word Aramaic is inserted in some of the translations, which often contain faulty interpretations. There was no letter J until the 16th century. The Anglican Catholic Circus adopted IESV from the Latin Vulgate. The KJV is the English translation of the Latin Vulgate. The word JESUS was not placed in it until decades later. Yahusha's only name is Hebrew, Acts 4:12, and that makes sense because the language of the times was Hebrew. He came in his father's name. It is expressed as the root word plus a suffix, Yahu plus Shah, and becomes Yahusha. This name means I am your deliverer. James Strong published his concordance in 1890 and based his work on the KJV, an Anglican Catholic translation. James Strong was a Methodist theologian and professor. First edition, authorized version, KJV, showing IESV. Yahuwah's commands. Shemoth or Exodus 20. And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You have no other mighty ones, GODs and or LORDs, against my face, before me. That means you do not make for yourself the carved image, meaning a statue, or any carved image, or any likeness, painting, statues, or stained glass images of that which is in the Shamayim, or the heavens above, or which is in the Eretz, the earth, beneath, or which is in the Mayim, the waters, under the Eretz, or the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous all, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me, but showing kindness to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments, or my commands. You do not cast the name of Yahuwah your Elohim to ruin. Remember the Shabbat day to set it apart. 6 Yomim, or 6 days you labor, and shall do all your work. But the 7th Yom, the 7th day, Saturday, is a Shabbat of Yahuwah your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant.
That was a question I had. I don't mean to
It's okay.
Saturday, you know, so it's supposed to be day of rest, but what if you have dogs and you have to keep taking them out and walk and stuff? Isn't that work?
Yes, that was a question my husband had, and I told him I don't really feel like it's work having to take the dogs out, but
the right thing because taking them out, it is work when you have to play. I don't know.
When you have to take them out and run them, like, because Roscoe, he's a lot more work than Bella, but Bella has a smaller bladder. Yeah. But if anyone can answer his question in the comments, that would be highly appreciated.
I feel like I'm going against it because I'm not. I feel like I'm not able to relax on that day, and I'm trying. Like I do I don't try. I'm always prepared. We're always prepped. It's always. I feel like things go bad because I'm working. I feel like it's work on that. I don't know. I guess I'm wrong.
How I try to explain it is, like, back in those times, they did have farm animals, and they would still have to feed them on Shabbat, you would think, right? Or would they put enough food out for them to have enough? I don't know. That's just a question I have. Maybe, Brother Dave, I think you told me about this scripture you read before. It was an extra book about someone, I think it was Abraham, that had like 800 dogs. Maybe there was something in there about what he did on Shabbat, like with his dogs, like does he have? Did they have something to hook him outside so they wouldn't have to like work on the Shabbat? But he walks the dogs. He doesn't hook them up. He worries if he leaves them out there. He doesn't want to leave them out there.
I think it's a BYBLOS guy. I don't know. To me, because where we live, I don't know. You hear dogs barking. People leave their dogs out just hooked up forever. Yeah.
But just let me know in the comments what you guys think about taking dogs out on the Shabbat and walking them on the Shabbat. I mean, he doesn't leave, like, the vicinity of our yard, but that was just a question he had. It's okay.
It's been concerning me. It's been bothering me for a while. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, I keep interrupting.
It's important if you have a question to just say it. Therefore, Yahuwah blessed the Shabbat day and set it apart. Respect your father and your mother, so that your Yomim, or your days, are prolonged upon the soil which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder, including yourselves and or unborn children. You do not break wedlock. You do not steal. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. You do not covet your neighbor's house. You do not covet your neighbor's asha or wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. And all the people saw the thunders and lightnings flash, or some thunders and lightning flashes, the sound of the ram's horn, and the mountain smoking. And the people saw it, and they trembled, and stood at a distance, and said to Moshe, or Moses, You speak with us, and we hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Moshe said to the people, Do not fear, for Elohim has come to prove you, and in order that his fear be before you, so that you do not sin. In every place where I cause my name to be remembered, I shall come to you and bless you.
So you want
Okay, so next lesson is going to be on dispensationalism, aka replacement theology. Meet John and Cyrus. That's an introduction for tomorrow's video. The Decalogue Stone at Los Lunas, New Mexico. Great. No.
I know.
And then the Love Commands, Heavy Yokers, Apocrypha, Obscurity of Origin, Andrew's Nightmare, What is Sin, Strange Fire, Attacking the Unborn, Idolatry.
It's yours. Yes, it's for you.
Let me see. What was the Old Covenant?
Yeah, eat. Oh, you can eat.
And because he has known my name. And then that'll be all of tomorrow's lesson.
Better eat, Rossi.
And I should have the new setup once we get to probably the fifth lesson in this book. Yes, it would be amazing.
Yes. 2 places is becoming too complicated.
I know.
Oh, okay, everyone. I'm sorry. Hope you all have a good day. Apologize, babe.
It's okay, babe. I love you all. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Yahuwah bless you all, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth.
That's yours.